I will fight for my rights and I will stand up to the government, but I won't stand up here because I don't want mean things said about me on the internet. Hey everybody, welcome to Shooting the with Yankee. As always, I'm Yankee, so let's start shooting. Today's topic is an easy one. I want to know your opinion. Is Donald Trump doing anything positive for gun rights? You know, he came in on a lot of promises to gun owners. Is he keeping any of them? Is Congress doing anything positive for gun rights under his leadership? Is the DOJ doing anything positive for gun rights under his leadership? Let me know what people think, and don't be afraid to weigh in. So many people are afraid to say anything negative about Donald Trump because they'll have, nasty things said about him by the Trumpers. And I always find it hard to believe that these are the same people that say, I will fight for my rights and I will stand up to the government, but I won't stand up here because I don't want mean things said about me on the internet. Kind of hard to reconcile those things in a person. So what do you honestly think? Is Donald Trump or the DOJ or Congress under his leadership doing anything positive for gun rights now? Or are we once again being shafted? Usually I start these off with my own opinion. But tonight I'm not going. I'm just going to read your all's opinions because I think everybody knows my opinions. I'm a firm believer of holding Donald Trump accountable and any other politician accountable. And when people say, well, you keep talking about Donald Trump, it's because he's the president, you moron. And the very fact that you're not talking about him, you'll still mention Biden all the time, but you won't hold Trump accountable. That shows you're not truly an American. You're a cult member for Trump because you're not holding your politicians accountable. So I want to hear what people out there think, see how many people have the guts to weigh in. And it can sometimes take guts just to weigh in positively, especially in here, because you know probably a lot of people don't agree with you. But be men, say what you really think. I'm going to read it, and then we're going to talk about it as we go. So let's get over here to the incoming chats right off the bat. Ghost Shadow says, no, he hasn't. Has any politician? They sometimes put forward pro-gun stuff and pro-2A stuff, but only when they know it will not happen. It seems like that's the only time they do stuff like this. That's what mostly Congress is about nowadays, especially the House. It's about political theater. And if you know, hey, if I put this forward, nobody's going to vote for it, right? Okay, I'm putting this forward. Look at me. I'm standing up for these rights. I'm standing up for the rights of workers or gun rights or whatever. I'm standing up to the rich people. But they're behind the scenes going, hey, rich people, this is just for the people voting. And when we know it ain't going to pass. So that's the only time they do something. Ghost Shadow says, Yankee is old, vision bad, lots he doesn't see. I see more than most people think. My vision ain't that bad. It's bad, but it ain't that bad. I don't wear glasses. I should. I have glasses. I'm supposed to get bifocals, but I ain't doing it. Might as well just build myself a fucking casket and bury it in the yard and put it in the yard ready for me to lay down in it if I go get bifocals. Gummy Wuzzle, speaking of old and about to die, he's waiting. Use it as a distraction for something. Probably. I mean, that would be something. Maybe he'll get into a huge scandal. Maybe he'll sleep with another porn star or something, and he'll have to say, I'm repealing the NFA to draw away from it. I'd be like, sleep with 2 more porn stars and get rid of some other stuff too. I'd be all in support of that. I'm not even I don't think sleeping with porn stars is negative. Now, he is married, so some people might have a problem with that, but I don't think Melania would care. People are like, why isn't Melania outraged that he was sleeping with porn stars? She's probably like better them than me. You know, she signed this contract to stay in the country and live a fancy lifestyle. She doesn't want to get jumped on all the time, I'm sure. Yeah, that was a little I got a little off topic there. Dale Riggedy said nope. That was real long, drawn out excuse, but very succinct there. And then Practical Bacon also said nope. So pretty succinct. Sean Bain, no relation to the Bane from Batman, from what I hear, for what he says. Nope. Look at his history on the subject. Most people adore his history on the subject. You say Trump ain't pro-gun, they freak out. They act like he's been the most pro-gun politician ever, and he ain't done anything positive for guns, not once in his first administration and not yet in his second. In fact, he's done a lot of anti-gun stuff. He banned bump stocks. He was willing to suspend due process for red flag laws, all this kind of stuff. How is that pro-gun? Henry J. says, nope, when it comes to guns, it's just lip service. It's pretty much like that when it's with any substantial freedom. It's the same thing with, like we're going to take rights back from big companies and give them back to the workers. And we're going to, stop these corporations from price gouging and make sure people get a livable wage. They only say that shit when they know there's no chance of it happening. Gummy Wuzzle said, as long as he doesn't ban my cleavage holster. Well, I would hope not. He needs to keep his face out of your cleavage. Unless he's motorboating, then that's different. That's for fun. Absolutely not, Mr. Take the guns first and due process later, said Tim Allen. Yeah, see, I can't even get over that. I can't get over the willing to suspend due process to take people's guns away. And it shows, and lately he doesn't seem to have much of a appreciation for due process, period. Seems he has a problem with due process when it comes to taking rights away or anything from anybody he doesn't agree with. Be it habeas corpus or gun rights or what. Officer Tater Hater, even though I did vote for him, Trump blindly backs the blue, which is something I won't do. I'll wipe my bottom with the thin blue line flag before I back them. Well, then why'd you vote for him? If you think the greatest threat to this country is unchecked law enforcement, which I know you think that's one of the biggest threats we face, why would you vote someone who wants to give them full immunity? Why wouldn't you vote third party? That's a question, I would say. Mikey D said, no politicking done shit for 2A, even when they have the numbers. None pass pro 2A bills, and when they submit them, they know it won't pass. They say I tried. Well, that's just political theater for campaigning. It's not really getting anything done. That way they can stand up and go like, I introduced a bill that would give everybody back the right to fully automatic weapons. Did anybody vote for it? Oh, well, we never got out of committee. We knew it wouldn't. It's the only reason we put it forward. That was Mikey D, by the way. John M. Mandrick said absolutely nothing positive. In fact, he's setting us back. He actually is in some ways setting us back. I mean, they haven't done anything in the way of active anti-gun legislation. I mean, it's still coming in from the left and wherever, but they are setting us back because we've had some victories, like how 18-year-olds should be able to buy guns, how the NFA is unconstitutional and people should be able to have fully automatic rifles. They're fighting both those things in court. So trying to overturn those decisions. So they are setting us back in some ways. Peter D says, I'll take the guns first and due process second. Yeah, that is the worst thing you ever did. People say, oh, the bump stock ban was the worst thing you ever did. I think the willing to suspend due process is worse because that can affect you in every way. Because that's what I try to tell people now. If you're okay with them saying, hey, this person's a gang member, so we're deporting them without due process, and you go, well, yeah, under these circumstances, that's good. No, it's not good. It's not good under any circumstances because how do you know they're a gang member if you don't give them due process? How do you know they're not a citizen? If tomorrow he said that I was a gang member and wasn't actually a citizen and deported me, would you say, well, that's fine because he said he was a gang member and didn't have citizenship? Well, how do you know that if I didn't get due process? Because I am a citizen, but they could easily say I wasn't. When you start taking politicians' words for things without due process, that's when you've surrendered all your freedoms. Period. You've become a subject. John M. Mandrick says, notice the 225 agenda got a boost with the anti-porn bill today. 2025 doesn't like guns either. Well, the elites don't like any of these things. And the Christians don't like it either, like the big churches, because they don't want people being armed. They want them to have to follow religious doctrine no matter what. Looks like we got one more person weighing in here, but yeah, that's sad with the anti-porn bill. I mean, I'm not the biggest porn guy, but in fact, I think that's one of the reasons a lot of the people on the right, because, people who tend to be more conservative often are men, and they're often Christian men, which are more sexually repressed. And so they watch more porn. It's been proven. This is not my opinion. It's proven that conservative men watch more porn than any other group. There's a reason why when the Republican National Convention comes to town, hookers make a fortune. And I think one of the reasons a lot of them have problems with their macho stuff and how they don't feel like men, think they got to act like uber men to seem like a man, is because they watched a lot of porn and they think that's what the average penis looks like. And then they feel less so a man. But like I said, we got one more person weighing in here. It is Heavy J, and he says, in America, I'm not obligated to trust politicians. No, you're not obligated to trust politicians at all. You're not obligated to like them. You're not obligated to vote for them. Unfortunately, the people that they serve, we don't have a lot of issues with whether we trust them or not, because they don't do it out in the open. Their leaders actually operate in the shadows so that we don't have to trust them. Because if you knew what the billionaires were doing, there'd be an uprising. So they have to rule in secret through the politicians who do the job of keeping you divided, so you don't pay attention to what the rich people are doing. But that's it for today. I want to thank everyone who participated. Thanks for coming in, letting us know how you feel. Everybody out there in YouTube land, what do you think? Let me know in the comment section below. And if you want to weigh in on one of these topics in person, feel free to let me know in the, no, wait, that's wrong. I did that backwards. Let me know in the comment section now. And if you want to weigh in on one of these topics in person, come to our live chats, which we do every day pretty much at 6 p.m., except for Wednesdays when I don't know when the fuck it's going to be on Wednesdays. Just watch. You'll see. And come on in. Let us know what you think about the topic of the day, and stick around for the after chat, which we do immediately after this chat every day, or sometimes we do special podcasts. Come on in. Those are all open chats. You can decide what you want to talk about. Hope to see you in a chat soon. And once again, thanks to everybody who participated here. Hope to see you all again tomorrow. Until then, remember, always carry and stay safe until I see you again.